right, we are live, guys. Welcome to the show. We have the pleasure of being joined by Cody and their CEO, and they'll be going through an overview of the project, and we'll be starting shortly. Let's give it a few minutes for people to join the live stream. Hey, what's up, Dragon Ball Crypto? Glad to have you on. What's up, Tyler? What's up, Barry? Barry in the house, Crypto family. What's up, Brian Ferrano? Looking forward to connecting with you in Miami, Brian. What's up, Ian? Arthur? All right, guys, yeah, welcome to the show. This is the Cody AMA, all the way from Tel Aviv. They're in Tel Aviv, Israel, and I'm here in Miami. We got Dig on the back. Hey, what's up, Lester? Thanks for joining. What's up, Marcel? Glad to have you guys on. All right. What's up, Mohammed? What's up, Inso? Good morning, all the way here from Miami. Looking forward to connecting with most of you here at BTC Miami this week. I will be hosting a meetup, so stay tuned. Just stay tuned for the alert on my Telegram channel. All right, guys. So let's just hop into it. All right. And guys, if you have any questions, ask them via YouTube, and I'll go through each question with the team. I also do have a Mentimeter as well for anybody who's not on YouTube. So Menti code is 658327. That's 658327. Go to menti.com, MENTI.com. All right. That being said, let's hop into it. All right, welcome, guys. How are you?
Hello, Ian. It's great to see you again.
Likewise. You know, first of all, guys, congratulations on being winners of the Tel Aviv Crypto World Tour. That was one of the best events we had. Very huge blockchain community in Tel Aviv. All right, so I just want to say, guys, congratulations for being there, for having an amazing pitch. And now we're ready to look into what you guys are doing with the whole world.
Thank you. So my name is Shahaf Bar-Geffen. I am CEO for Cody.
I'm Nir Haloani. I'm the CTO of Cody.
All right, nice. So what is Cody? Let's just go to this first question. People wonder, what is Cody?
Yeah, well, Cody is a blockchain 3.0 infrastructure solution that is focused on payments and stablecoin. We have a solid adoption strategy with the early traction from enterprises around the world. We are a real business with a real use case and revenue. We've built a full ecosystem that allows enterprises to issue their coin with us and list it with a full solution.
You allow people to issue coins. You're basically a platform that lets them issue stable coins and build payment apps.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's say you are you're Amazon and you want to issue the Amazon dollar because you've just recently seen Facebook that are about to issue their own stable cryptocurrency and use WhatsApp for payment. So you want to do your own thing and you want to issue the Amazon dollar, for instance, or you can just be a smaller marketplace or a government. So you need a solution, an infrastructure to create this coin. Now you can't do that with Ethereum because scalability is not there, and you'll find a lot of setbacks when it comes to payments and transactions. So you need an infrastructure that was built for that, and this is TrustChain. Our infrastructure was built exactly for that. So we'll allow you to create a coin and list it immediately.
So you're saying Ethereum is not built for currencies. Is that because of the transaction fees?
So there are a lot of things that make Ethereum incompatible with payments specifically. And it's not just Ethereum. EOS has the same issues and other cryptocurrencies as well. Neil, do you want to add why you think other infrastructure is not suitable for transaction?
Yeah, other than being scalability-wise, it's not really fit for handling, for example, stablecoin use case, we should look at it as we have the full ecosystem and the framework to support any use case and any opt-in and opt-out of user into the network. So if you are issuing an application with ERC20, for example, you don't get the added value of how people are going to use your currency. You built a game, you have a token, but other than distributing the token to people, they don't really have easy access to it. By deploying applications on our network and ERC20-like distribution and deployment, you will be able to get also the added value of having a pair, listing your token on an exchange, our exchange, ability to take fiat money and exchange it to the cryptocurrency and get real usage for your cryptocurrency and not just deploying it and looking how to integrate with third parties.
So you're saying a fiat gateway is already built into any stable currency issued on your platform?
Exactly. So we see it, it's quite clear that in the future, and it can be anywhere between 3 to 30 years, we will have digital currencies as a form of payment. Maybe they'll be pegged to dollars or euros, maybe to gold, maybe to nothing, but we will have digital currencies, and about 15 central banks right now are looking into it. Top enterprises are looking into it. So there is very little doubt that this is going to happen. Question is, who is going to give these organizations the right technology, the right platform for that? We think and we believe that current blockchain solutions are not fit for that. And we believe that the trust chain is specifically fit for that because we have built it that way. We can handle more than 10,000 transactions per second right now. We have a test net out that proves that. That is absolutely needed. Transaction cost is less than fractions of a cent. Privacy is kept. You have chargeback mechanisms. You have stability framework. You can deal with fiat on a licensed gateway. So it's a full solution into the.
So that's what you call the trust chain?
Exactly.
Okay, so, and then you mentioned chargeback. How does that work? Because that's not really something you hear much in blockchain, right? When you send your money, typically it's gone.
Yeah, in blockchain, yeah, but when you think about, mass adoption, and this is what we're aiming to, you actually don't want, you really do want to have a chargeback mechanism because normal people, when they buy something online, don't just send cash in an envelope and hope to get the products, right? They want something more robust. Now, as Dr. Haloani has designed this mechanism, we're going to let him explain how chargebacks work with Cody.
Yeah, the basic idea is to have a mechanism similar to a PayPal, consumer merchant flow, interaction between the consumer and the merchant. That's something which obviously solvable on a blockchain, but doing a refund on a blockchain, that's something which is a bit complicated, and this is something that we have resolved, embedded in the infrastructure. We have a set of, a decentralized collective which help us get to the majority decision, which resolve dispute between the parties. If it's not resolved between them in a time frame, in a window frame of 2 weeks, for example, or more, then it's moved to the arbitrators who get to vote, and the majority will decide if the dispute is in favor of the consumer or the merchant. Basically, the basic idea about is that it's only for payment between consumer and merchant. It's not really for transaction at first phase. It's not for transaction between users. It's mostly if you want to buy something and you want to be able to get a protection for that. For the purpose of that, there are also
people have to vote on it, right?
Exactly. But they vote and they stake coins when they vote to back up their voting, so they have incentive to be right. Because if they lose the vote, meaning they were with the minority, they're losing the coins that were staked, and if they were with the majority, they collect more coins. So we incentivize and have an evolution in the system that survival of the fittest, if you may, of arbitrators.
Yeah, but they cannot really, randomly vote. They need to explain their voting. They need to to base it on the facts and on the confidence of that user provides. So it needs to be a detail. We have ways to assess if voting is just a random one or it's based on real facts. And if you are not aligned with the majority, a long time, and in the long run, you are going to be just dismissed from being an arbitrator in the system.
How do you prevent, I guess, a whale just buying up votes, or just having the largest amount of, I guess, do you guys use nodes or trust nodes?
One person, one vote. It doesn't really matter how much money you put in. The money you put in will maybe dictate to some extent your payout, but it's one person, one vote.
And they are chosen randomly, so you cannot really interact between arbitrators. No one knows which one is assigned to each case, so they can't really communicate between them. That's that's how we resolve it.
So who's your competition, right? Because when you mentioned payments and what you're trying to do, right?
Yeah. So
think of Ripple.
Yeah, I would agree. So I would say, first of all, we're not a payment network. We do have Cody Pay, which is our payment network, meaning we've taken TrustChain, our protocol, and Cody X, our exchange, and on top of it have built Cody Pay, which is our payment network, and we have about 5,000 merchants that have signed in to use the network, and we slowly onboard them. And I'm happy to say that the first transaction with Cody Pay may happen tonight for the first time. So this is a very exciting day for us. But aside of that, aside of our own payment network, what we do is allow any organization to build his own payment network, which is something that nobody is offering today. So I would say our competition comes from traditional networks like PayPal, which we can win because we cost a fraction of what PayPal will cost you. So PayPal is a few percentage of your turnover. Cody is fractions of your turnover. And blockchain solutions like Ripple and Stellar. Ripple and Stellar are aiming more to interbanking and remittance, and we are focused on consumer merchant solutions. So this is different, and the technology stack is different as well. And I think Nir is better at explaining how.
Technology-wise, it's very, very different. I mean, we based all our decision based on trust. As we said, we are a trust chain protocol. Every entity in the network is applied with a trust, which defines how much power it gets in the network and what it can do in the network, how much fees are going to be assigned to each transaction, and also what is the proof of trust need to get for the consensus needs to be applied for this type of transactions. But as we said before, other than being, different as an infrastructure and as a protocol, the differentiation itself is mostly in the application level surrounding the solution. It's giving a full ecosystem, as we said, the ability to not only deploy your own token, to be able to also make it usable, and the chargeback protection, which is very, very essential and not exist in other platforms currently.
All right, very nice. Is there anything you guys would like to show us? Maybe a demo or a video or a presentation? Are you good?
We can get some stuff ready, and I will put it in Zoom in a second. Okay. Probably. Yeah, we'll get something happening in a second.
I have right now at the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
The question, which you guys can't really answer, about exchanges.
Yeah. Well, I can answer this. We have our own exchange called Cody X, which recently has gone into beta for selected users, and naturally. Our coin will be listed there immediately. But again, as I've mentioned, because we already have utility, because we already have a net running, we feel that we most likely do tick the box of a utility token, and naturally we will list Cody to have liquidity in various exchanges. Naturally, we're speaking with more than a few, and we will have that happening probably in the upcoming month.
Okay. Then people are asking, since you guys are based in Israel, and so is Chromopolis, any chance for possible partnership between the two of you?
Any partnerships where?
Between you and Chromopolis, also in Israel.
Yeah, we know the guys from Chroma really well. We are we have a different use case naturally. So a partnership is not straightforward. We did have the people from Cardano here last month. We've hosted them for about a week and introduced them to the local ecosystem. And I suspect we'll have interoperability with them and share some knowledge and use cases. Other than that, we're working with Bancor here in Israel, naturally, and the Wings Foundation. So that's local partnerships.
What kind of partnership would that be with Bancor? Because they're built on Ethereum, I believe, right?
Yeah. So they can help us with some aspects of liquidity, and we're helping them with some other aspects with regards to fiat. And it's something that we'll announce pretty soon.
Okay. So next question a person has is, are you guys replacing PayPal?
Well, down the line, I hope we either replace PayPal or PayPal will choose to use the trust chain instead of using Visas and MasterCard's rails, because what is more important is the underlying rails. And we go to that depth in our solution. So PayPal is a network. So they have a lot of contracts with merchants, and they have a user base, which is huge, right? So but what is the underlying technology they'll use? That is, I think, the big question, and this is where we want to plug in and show what we can do.
Also, it's actually allowing anyone to be his own PayPal. Any merchant can be his own PayPal. He doesn't really need to have a third party which gives him these services. He can white label the solution. He can run on our solution. In any case, the fees will be very, very minimal. You will get all the sets of services that we have embedded, and it will allow him to deploy it very, very fast and without the requirement of having a license to be a processor. I mean, you can be a processor tomorrow morning on your website without being licensed for being one. And in cryptocurrency, that's a major advantage, that you can really do it. You don't really need to get the license of being a processor.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting.
These are storing the cryptocurrency on the wallets. You are not holding money for them.
Yeah.
All right. So let me know when you guys are ready. Otherwise, I'll keep the questions coming.
Yeah, keep another question coming, and we're gonna show it in September.
You're selling only 30% of your tokens for $15 million US. This looks a little too high. Question or statement.
We are selling 30% of our tokens and giving away another 45% of our token. So down the line, 75% would be held by consumers, merchants, and enterprises around the world. I think that's pretty fair.
Okay, so that 45% is an airdrop, or it's to strategic investors, partners? What do you mean?
Both. So it's a pool that is there for incentives, whether it's other enterprises working with Cody, consumers using Cody, merchants, and so on and so forth. We have quite an extensive program for that. We have signed in more than 100,000 users to download the wallet when it's ready and get their first 100 Codys for free. So that's one thing. And more than 5,000 merchants have signed in using the incentive list. We are now engaged with more than 40 top enterprises and governments around the world to issue their own digital currency and payment solution. So we need this huge pool to get the wheel running. But I think that down the line, if we have 75% of tokens out there, it's pretty good.
Okay. Can you tell us the token metrics and also more info on your ICO or private sale?
Yeah. So overall, there are 2 billion Kodi coins, and these are the coins that are used for fees and arbitrators and overall usage of the system. We are based on DAG, on a graph, so it means that we mint all the coins in day one and then slowly release them into the market. Out of the 2 billion, 30% is sold to investors around the world. 45% is for incentives. 15% is for the team, and the team has a 2-year lockup that hasn't started counting yet. And advisors and early backers have about 10% of the tokens, again with a 12-month lockup. I didn't mention it, but investors also commit to a lockup of 3 to 24 months.
3 to 24 months?
Yes. So that's the token metrics. With regards to fundraising, we had a very early equity raise, then had a token sale, and now we are finalizing our last raise, which is a combined offering of equity and coins. It is mostly for private accredited investors. With that said, we're now looking at maybe and quite possibly having the last tranche sold on a public sale in a specific jurisdiction.
Okay. I mean, first of all, guys, I mean, our team has definitely done its own homework on you guys, and we thought you guys were a great project. I mean,
thank you.
And also winners of the Tel Aviv event, right? But I love the project, but the only 2 concerns I would say were, as I told you, were the early investor bonus, which was pretty high for the early investors, right? And then just overall market based on ICOs and crypto space, right? Everything is down 90%, and no one's trying to kind of add new money into crypto at this point in time, right? So, but I mean, other than that, though, I mean, I think this project is amazing. I think you guys are going to do amazing things, right? Not financial advice, guys. Always do your own homework. This is just my opinion, right? But I mean, I think the technology is good, right? And me personally, I'm not invested yet. This is not a paid video. I'm just sharing my opinion, right? But I think the project is good, and I mean, probably down the line, I probably will get in, most likely on exchanges.
Yeah. So what I want to share with you is, I'm going to show you a demo in a second. 2 important things. One is with regards to early investors with big bonuses, and by big I mean anything between 50% to 70%. It is now, as part of our total raise, 0.14%. So it's absolutely negligible. Completely as an overall strategy, and even that, most of it is locked up. So I really don't fear that, and most of the bonuses given, and by most I mean overall I would say that our average bonus was between 15 to 30%. With a substantial lockup, with lockups going all the way to 24 months. So I think that is the token structure and sale is quite robust, and I don't fear a dump. It's not in the numbers. With regards to fundraising, of course, the winter is here, but what we've done is, because we've realized that we are a real business. I mean, we are generating revenue, and according to our projections, we can probably generate profits of hundreds of billions of dollars down the line if we take a market share of about 2%. So with that, we've actually gone to traditional VCs and showed them the business case, and they loved it. And we've been able to raise funds from traditional institutions because we've showed them this is a real company, this is a fintech company that is using blockchain and can actually generate profits. So this is how we have accommodated ourselves to the different market, and naturally this is how we've always been that way. We were never a foundation with a hope of someday getting adopted. We are not a solution that is looking for a problem to solve. We've built Cody with a specific use case in mind. How do we solve payments? How do we solve a market where technology hasn't shifted or changed for 40 years? How do we disrupt that? And this is why we've built blockchain from scratch. This is why we've built the trust chain. So once we had that, the use case was quite clear, and the business case is clear, and we do have clients that are adopting Cody. So we are generating, the first dollar tonight. So this is actually happening, and this is more than I can say on huge infrastructures worth billions of dollars in token value. I want to show you what we've done. We've created this short video of the DAG, and אני רוצה לראות גם את מה שאנה הכינה עם ה-exchange וכל היתר.
Just hit the share button.
Yeah. So איפה זה? Just a second. Oh, yeah. Okay. Wait, I have another one as well that I want to show you. בשביל אומר את השני? Okay. That a few things that we want to show you now. Okay, do you see that?
No, yes. Okay, I see you now.
Okay, so this here is the Cody swag.
In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how.
I'm going to stop the sound. It's a swag shop that we have, and what I want to show you is how easy it is using Cody Pay, our payment network, to actually buy things. So basically, it's the same flow that we are accustomed to, and when you go to checkout, this is the first time you put in your details, and then you can actually pick Cody Pay. Okay. It can be Cody Pay, but it can be the Amazon dollar. It can be the Facebook pound, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But you pick this coin, you pay with Cody Dime. So Cody Dime is our first stable coin on top of Cody Pay's network. You log in, you have an account. It's very basic, reminds you a lot of PayPal. You pay, and it's done. And the transaction is made and kept on the graph. And this can do 10,000 transactions per second right now.
That quickly, you just made a payment using a stablecoin built on the Cody.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to show you another thing.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the Cody X exchange. Let me know if you can see it.
Right. Yeah, seeing a download screen right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait a second. Okay, do you see the Cody X running right now?
No. Okay,
something. No, okay. So let me just quickly try and oh, okay, got it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes. Yeah. I'm seeing.
Okay. So this is CodeX. This is actually our fiat to crypto exchange. This is part of what we provide enterprises that launch a coin with us. So they.
Shahaf, I'm seeing something else. I'm seeing a DVD menu player.
Got it. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. Think I got it now.
Yes. Okay. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So this is CodeX, as I've mentioned. When an enterprise launches a coin with us, they usually need a fiat to crypto solution because their user base is not crypto people, right? It's the average consumer, millions and hundreds of millions of consumers around the world that didn't do, don't have an Ether wallet and whatnot. So they need an easy way to onboard that network, okay? An easy way to buy your Amazon dollars. So we give them this solution because we have a licensed exchange that we own that allows you to easily take whatever you have, whether it's fiat, bank deposits, credit cards, other cryptos, whatnot, and just buy the coin that you need. And we don't even send you to that exchange. It's streamlined within the process. You get what you need right away, and you can buy the stable coin that enterprise has just issued. And the experience is quite like what we are accustomed to in exchanges, only a bit easier. So this is another thing I wanted to share with you. This is already happening in beta stage.
So that's an exchange built into, that's the exchange platform built into Cody.
Can you repeat the question, please?
So is that an exchange platform built into Cody?
Exactly. And we own 100% of it, and the reason being is that, as I've mentioned, we don't want to have to force enterprises that we work with to actually go and do a listing process with a third-party crypto exchange when this is not their use case and not what they have in mind. They have a simple e-commerce play in mind, so we can provide them with that. As part of the solution. Another interesting thing that I want to share is actually the graph that we've built Cody upon. I think I'm getting better with the screen sharing. Yeah. Okay. Do you see the Cody's cluster?
Yes.
Okay. So this here is the graph. Unlike blockchain, Cody is built on a blockless environment where all transactions are gathered into a graph, which gives it great scalability. And on top of it, we have a new type of consensus that Dr. Nir here has created called the proof of trust, which is a new type of consensus, POT. And what you can see here is that transactions are added to our network. Okay, so all of this is transactions. Orange are new transactions, and they validate previous transactions. Those who are blue, and create these trust chains on top of them, because transactions with similar trust scores tip to similar transactions. And when these chains are created, we automatically calculate the trust level on top of the chain. And when enough trust is gained on a specific transactions, we can validate it, and money is sent. This is what you see here, for an instance. This is a trust chain. This can do unlimited amount of transactions per second, because when this network grows, it becomes faster because you have more transactions that validate more transactions. So scalability brings more scalability. We have a test net out that is doing more than 10,000 transactions per second. We will have a mainnet in about 3 months, and it will again go to tens of thousands of transactions per second. Unlike blockchain solutions that have a few or tens of transactions per second. We need to compete with the big players, with the Visas and MasterCards of the world, and they go all the way to 25,000 transactions per second. So we needed to top that with our solution, and this is exactly what we've done.
People say DAGs are very fast, but there's also a very huge drawback to DAGs versus blockchains, right? I forget exactly what the concern was, but I think it was something you guys claim to have solved, right?
Yes. So one of the big things with DAGs are, aside of being complicated, okay, DAGs issue is usually around how to solve double spend. Double spend is quite a threat when it comes to DAGs. I'm going to let Nir here explain our solution, which is called the double spend prevention nodes.
Yeah, actually, the main problem with DAG is that transactions are being confirmed in parallel and trying to do it instantly. The proof of work, which is required to, in our case, it's proof of trust, but the proof of work, you can, compare it to it, is very, very minimal. It's mostly for preventing spam. And in our case, we solve the issue of, untrusted transaction by applying trust to every, and trust code to every transaction. And by that, also defining the time and the proof of work required to confirm this transaction. The consensus we are going to get from the network and from the DSP nodes are going to be based on these trust scores. And if your turnovers and your decay in the network and your trust score in the network is very, very high, it means that we can trust you. It means that your transaction can be confirmed with a minimal consensus, only from DSP nodes, not all of them, but most of them. The system itself is built in zones. It means that not all node needs to be connected to each other. You can only define clusters which can communicate between them. So we reach consensus a lot faster. The problem of double spend, as Shahaf said, is prevented by having a pre-balance and balance for every transaction. Every transaction is going to be confirmed only after the DSP nodes have reached a consensus, and DSP nodes are not very, it's not a high number of nodes in the network, so it's easier and faster to get confirmation from them on each transaction.
Yeah. I want to share the one last thing with you.
All right.
Okay. Okay. You can see it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is our full ecosystem in play: trust chain, the protocol, and the rest. As I've mentioned, we have a testnet out available on GitHub. It has been reviewed by quite a few third parties and got excellent reviews. You can actually register a node, and I'll discuss how to operate a node with us, but you can see all transactions, and you can actually run a node for Cody. Running a node for Cody is easy. It can be done on a laptop, and mining can be done through your basic computer, all right? You don't need super chips to deal with that. Anybody at home, anywhere in the world, can run a node for Cody, and this is now getting available through the testnet.
Do you have to have a coins for that? Is there a minimum for the coins or master nodes?
Down the line, yeah, you will need to stake coins to run a node, because this is how we can make sure that you are trustworthy. You need to have something to lose, but you don't need to be rich to start working for Cody. I think that's the main point. And you can see some nodes running in the world right now.
Actually, the staking is only for the the bottlenecks of the network. It means it's for the high risk nodes. You will need to stake something to be to be an operator of a DSP and trust core node. To be a full node operator, you don't really need to stake anything. You can just go through an onboarding of a KYC process and just run the instance.
Yeah. So right now we're building it as a way for you, what we hopefully achieve in our mainnet is that you can just log in, get an image on Amazon, and run a node through cloud computing, and profit from it and collect Cody coins because you help us verify transactions with a very minimal effort from your side. So this means that this is a truly decentralized system, unlike other systems, maybe like Ripple and Stellar, where there is either or you just can't run a node, or it just has no incentives for you to run a node because the system doesn't pay you for that. So this is like Bitcoin mining, only completely fair. We do see the exchange here again, as I've mentioned, as part of our integrated solution.
Okay. All right. So somebody has a question.
Sure.
So next question is, how is this different from the payment solution vision that PundiX is trying to do with its POS devices?
Okay, so PundiX specifically is a hardware solution with some software that allows merchants or everyday merchants to actually collect cryptocurrency as a payment form. The issue I see with that, and I have a lot of respect for PundiX, but the issue that I see with that is that you need to have a cryptocurrency to begin with to actually use the system. Now, this limits the potential. Everybody has fiat, and only a fraction of a fraction has crypto. So what we are trying to get to is mass adoption. We are trying to have everybody using digital currencies, and the way to get there is to simplify everything, and of course not to assume that all people have crypto and know how to deal with it. So we have actually simplified the whole process, and we are a solution that allows others to create their payment network. So and by the way, we are now working with an upcoming contender, an upcoming competition for PundiX, a company that is working in Korea and the US, and they are building a point of sale solution, and they are using our infrastructure to actually power that up. So this is the sort of partnerships that we are building. We're not in the hardware business, we are in the software business, and we're trying to work with as many players as we can to actually help them get adoption.
All right, good. People are asking about questions for the pre-sale or private sale, or all that info was mentioned earlier in the video. So just go halfway back in the video and watch it again, or just go to your website or your Telegram group, I believe, as well, where they can get.
Yeah, you can contact us there. Yeah, and we'll announce when we'll have a public sale, private sale, inquiries. Just contact us directly, and we'll speak about that.
All right. Okay, guys, if you still have any questions, the Menti code is still available, right? Menti.com. The code is 658327, 658327 to send in your questions. And then we'll also take some questions here from the audience on YouTube. So Ian Hawthorne is asking, when will Cody launch their bank card? I'm one of the selected ones in the first 1,000.
Yeah, so we're going to launch mainnet in March to June probably, and that will follow. So hopefully by the end of the year.
Now, can you explain the bank card? That's just like a regular debit card, but backed by
Cody? Yeah, it's a very simple solution. So the idea about cards is cards are like identification tokens. So mobile payments can replace cards, and any form of identification can replace cards, and cards can replace that form of identification. So we already have a partnership with a bank that allows us to issue the cards preloaded with specific currencies.
All right, that's good. That's good. Okay, let me see if there are any other questions here. how many vendors will be using Cody during its launch?
So we already have a list, and there needs to be some separation. There is a list of vendors that want to use Cody Pay, our payment network, and we already have more than 5,000 that have listed for that. And we're gradually onboarding that. And as I've mentioned, first transaction tonight. So that's big. On the other hand, business-to-business solution. We are now engaged with more than 40 enterprises around the world, top names. Some have already signed in, and I can mention processing.com, advanced blockchain, Millennium, that are doing remittance with us. So we already have signed in major enterprises that bring in a lot of volume and a lot of user base. So we have that adoption in play as well. What I believe is because of our strategy and our go-to-market strategy, which is working with enterprises and publishers that have a grand user base and giving them a white label technology, I believe that this strategy, and because the fact that we're dealing with something so common like payments together, will mean that by the end of the year, we will be the most widely used blockchain out there. This is what we're aiming to achieve with this strategy.
Really? So wait, and what time frame was that you said?
I think it will take us a year, and then we'll be there.
So in 1 year, you'll be the most widely used blockchain? Or
yes, this is what I'm. This is my statement.
Ethereum.
And let's speak in a year's time and see if I'm right about it.
I mean, because Ethereum had quite the head start here.
I know, but I think what we're doing is useful for the masses, and I think that our strategy of working, with top enterprises can actually bring in this adoption, and this is why I'm betting so high.
Okay, interesting. So next question somebody has is there an ideal region for Cody?
Ideal region?
Yes.
Naturally, Asia is super adopted for cryptocurrencies, and I will be in Asia, and my team will be in Asia early next week for about 2 weeks. So that's big for us. We see very good interest from U.S. enterprises as well. We see good interest from smaller governments in Asia that are looking to issue their stable coin. And with that said, probably, and I can't announce it now, but I will let you know when this solidifies. But we are now working on a huge partnership in Africa that will allow us to build an holistic solution from loyalty to payments in Africa, where the potential, of course, is huge because people there really need these type of solutions. Naturally, I'm referring to the unbanked, and we're working with Africa's largest retailer to build such solution, and I will announce it when it's signed. I don't want to jinx it, but so the revolution may start from there as well.
That's the Amazon of Africa, right? The e-commerce company.
This is what we're. I don't want to give more hints, but yeah, you're aiming at the right direction.
All right. So Bisesh is saying, please promote this in India. It's a good project. Okay. Lots of people seem to like it. Barry says he likes it as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Next question is, will Cody onboard Ethereum contracts with the Ethereum virtual machine?
Yeah, so Nir will answer that because I think this is actually this is a super type of question for us. So I will throw the bomb and then I'll let Nir explain. And naturally, there aren't any smart contracts over graphs right now. Some projects claim to be able to develop it. I hope so, but nothing is really happening. This year, we will have smart contracts over that coming from Cody. It will be an on-chain solution. And I'm going to let Nir explain a bit more about this revolution.
Actually, we're going to be the first project which is able to deploy smart contracts on DAG, but also the only project which does it on-chain and not off-chain, similar to, if we differentiate us from Ethereum, we are doing the signing and the smart contract itself on-chain. It's auditable on-chain. You don't need to look at it as offline auditable smart contract. We will also have the ability, together with the stability framework, to mint and burn tokens and connect all of it with our exchange to be able to, circulate everything and collateralize it.
Being achieved, the smart contract on-chain.
I'm not sure that was the question. Are we going to support Ethereum smart contract in our platform?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a first phase, the answer is no. We are looking at cross-platform integration, and we are building a gateway which will allow us to, port stuff from Ethereum to our network. But if someone already have a smart contract written or ERC20 tokens written and out there, we will be able to deploy it on our network and to convert all of them to our network.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I mean, that's definitely very, very ambitious, right? But it definitely does bring lots of value. Okay.
Well, we didn't mention that, but this is not the first company that we run. I've co-founded and exited 2 companies. Nir has sold his company to IBM. So we're not new to this game, and we're not aiming low.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely a team of all-stars, right?
Yeah, we're not just trying to make a living out of it.
Okay, next question is, what is the advantage of using Cody over Visa or MasterCard?
Yeah, sure. So fees, right? So it's 90% discounted. Cash flow, you get the payment right away. You don't need to wait. This both are being achieved because this is not a centralized solution, but a decentralized one. 3 is the organization that is building a payment network with us is setting the rules. So it's not, you're not living in the Visa and MasterCard world where they set the entire rule and say what's happening and what's not happening. You set your own rule with that. I would say these are the big things. What else, Neil?
Also, the buyer-seller protection. It's not really something that Visa provide. They provide fraud prevention, but not really a refund for a product or something like that. So,
what's the difference? Because it seems like the same thing to me.
The difference is that if you say that your card was stolen, then they are going to return you the money. But if you say that the product is broken, they are not going to charge back or even get into the case and open a dispute.
You have chargebacks, though. I mean, because I know I've done it.
Chargebacks. I think probably what PayPal is offering is a bit closer or quite the same to the sort of protections that we offer. But I would say the grand things, of course, is that when you're using the old infrastructure of Visa and MasterCard, you will have declined transactions, right? Specifically when you're trying to live in a global world where you're buying from a different region, you have card processing issues. If you open a shop in Miami and try to process cards from Brazil, good luck, right? You will have a 70% decline rate, I assure you that. So all of this is solved when using digital currencies, which are frictionless by nature.
Now, I think that's big because same thing with Nigeria. Like my friends from Nigeria, they're saying, good luck trying to use a credit card there.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes because we live, in first world countries and buying stuff domestically, we miss the point. Like we don't see how it's seen elsewhere in the world. But most of the world is not in the US, of course. And when you look at the future, we will transact globally much more than we did 30 years ago, and more than what we're doing today, right? If you're trying to process cards, you will have issues because it's an old technology that wasn't built specifically for that.
Okay. So Crypto FOMO is asking again, how much are you raising?
This round, we're raising $15 million.
But total is 30 million from first round and
Yeah, in the last 2 years, overall, it's 30. We built it in trenches because we didn't want to raise a lot of funds before we can actually, have a net out. So we have a net out not right now, so we feel confident in raising more funds. So this is how we built it.
Okay. Next question. Wow, people have so many questions. I get enjoying the live stream. Next question from Antonio Green. What nodes are the most profitable to run?
Probably full nodes, right?
The full nodes are the easiest one to run. You can profit more just if you take, because you can specify the fees that you wish to charge. But actually, DSP nodes and trust core nodes are more profitable because they get a fraction of all transaction in the network, and not just the fees of transaction being done over them. So full node only gets a fraction of the transaction he handles, and DSP and trust core nodes gets a fraction of all the network transactions.
Yeah, but you can't get to a full node. You can't get to a DSP or trust core node before you prove yourself as a full node operator.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next question from Chen. Can you explain the Cody reserve? Cody has a self-market making system.
No, we have because Cody is based on a graph, and all tokens needed to be created in day one. We've created 2 billion tokens, but because we realized that nobody can predict the future completely in 10, 20 years time, and we are aiming, Cody to be sustainable, we've created a pool of 2 billion more tokens that are locked. We don't have access to that, so it's not the company's tokens. But if the majority of the network decides in a few years' time that there needs to be more tokens, they can split what we have right now and have more liquidity if that is needed.
So the total supply is 2 billion tokens or coins?
Total supply is 2 billion. Maximum supply is 4 billion.
Okay, so 2 billion are locked up.
Yeah.
And when is that going to be opened up, that reserve?
It's really not up to us. If the majority of the network decides someday that they want to create more liquidity and have more coins out there, then it can be done. It's not to the company's decision at all. When you think of it, how many tokens do Ethereum have? It's endless because there is some inflation and more are created. Because DAG does not have inflation, we needed to solve it somehow. So we created this pool that is kept in a box that we can touch.
Okay, interesting. Okay, next question. Will Cody coins be available on other exchanges?
Yeah, for sure. We were not limited to Cody X. Cody X will be the first because that is essential. But we will not limit it. We definitely want to have liquidity for that. So yeah.
And Harry Todd is asking, can I issue my own token on Cody? The Harry Toad token?
Well, if you can bring in the volume, then yes, you will be able to issue and list your coin as well. We're quite picky to begin with, but sounds like Harry Todd is going to be a great success. So yeah.
Now that's being issued on the platform, so it's not an ERC20 token, correct?
No, it's Cody-based token. It's a new standard.
And that's pretty easy to make a coin on your platform.
We made it so it will be extremely easy. You don't need to know Solidity. You don't need to understand smart contracts. It's a simple 1, 2, 3 wizard, and you have your coin and it's listed.
Now, do you have to back it by anything?
Well, it depends. If you're building a stable coin, right? If you're not building a stable coin, the answer is no. If you're building a stable coin, you need to decide on your strategy. If you want to create an off-chain collateral like fiat or an asset, yes, you will need to put that in place. We can help through CodeX. If you are doing an on-chain collateral, meaning you're using other crypto to back it up, then you can do that. Or you can just have an algorithm, right, that deals with supply to control price stability. And for that, the team is launching our own type of smart contracts, so you can even have that in place.
Okay, all right. Okay, so people are saying you guys keep printing your own tokens, and I think either they don't understand it or they have very big concerns with that. Can you go through that again?
About what?
About the reserve, right? So the coins in the reserve are for other people to issue coins on or to use?
No. The coins are the reserve are there just because there is no inflation mechanism on a graph-based product, and because maybe in 10 years you will need more coins for liquidity, right? So how do you deal with that then, right? So in order not to realize in 10 years time that there aren't any coins left and we need more coins, the idea is to have this supply that the majority of the network can decide to access through a decentralized governance. It's not our decision, and then unlock it and divide it for the better interest of everybody's who are involved. So it's not for us, and we're not touching it and have no access to it.
If you want to deploy your own token, then you're going to define your own supply and how much you want to deploy on our network. It's going to run in parallel. It's not dependent on the COTI coin.
Yeah, this is important, and maybe it was misunderstood. If you are issuing, let's say you're Amazon and you're issuing the Amazon dollars on top of COTI, this is not a part of COTI's supply. You are creating your own DAG with your own supply and setting up your own rules. So it's not part of this ecosystem. If that wasn't clear, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. Let's wrap it up here, guys. Take a few more questions, and we'll close up. So Crypto FOMO is asking, well, actually, let's go to Antonio. How many coins are needed to run the DSP and Trust chain nodes?
It's going to be stake. It's not yet defined. It really depends on the amount that we will feel will protect us. It's going to be locked for 1 year and then released back to the user, but the specific amount is not yet defined.
Okay, all right. What is the current burn rate, monthly expenditure of COTI right now from Crypto FOMO?
Well, it's a few hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. We are 30 people, so that costs money, especially Nir's team. But we're keeping it modest.
30 people on a couple 100,000 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty standard.
Now, is that team all in Israel, or is that a global team?
All of the team is based in Israel. We do have third-party providers, usually around business development, that are working for us in Asia and in the US. But I would say the majority of the team is in Tel Aviv, Israel.
Okay. And then let's see what else we have here. So Antonio is asking, what are the use cases for startups to look to use COTI infrastructure? I think we kind of already covered that, right? That was kind of earlier in the stream, but maybe just kind of give a recap.
Sure. So you can issue your own digital currency with us. That will be used for payments. So we'll give you a full solution with a payment gateway, fiat transactions, whatever you need to issue your own currency. And then you're not dependent anymore on the traditional infrastructure of banking and credit cards and whatnot. So you save a lot of the fees and you get a lot of advantages from that.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you for joining the live stream. Also,
thank you.
Well, COTI team, you guys have done a great job. Answered all the questions, right? So where can people find more about COTI?
Our website, which is quite nice, but is also being upgraded these days. Our social groups, the biggest one is on Telegram, and you can find us there. If you're a developer, you should probably go to Discord and follow us. And I'm available at Shahaf, Shahaf, at Kori.io, or Shahaf BG at any of the social links, Telegram, Kakao, Line, WeChat. It's all the same.
You can also check the testnet, which is available, and everything that we demonstrated through the session. You can check it on our website, and also on GitHub. You can check the code. Look at it.
Well, thank you so much, guys. I mean, as usual, guys, this is me just sharing this video with you guys. Right, this is not a paid video. I'm not investing in Cody at the moment, right? But to me, it did score as an all-star ICO, right? I think probably in a better market, most people would be on this, right? It does, in a way, remind me of Pundi X, which was my best investment last year, right? But now in this time, I mean, almost everybody is feeling the pinch, right? But with that being said, guys, this is just my personal opinion, not financial advice. Always do your own research. Consult a legal and financial advisor before investing in ICOs or any project for that matter, right? They can be risky. You may lose all your money. So always do your own research. And yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much. And I'll see you on the moon.
Thank you, Ian. Always a pleasure.
Thanks.